Don't compromise, just use your eyes. Take a look inside the millennial mind. Millennial mind.
Welcome everyone to the Millennial Mind. You might call us millennials lazy, entitled, but it's time you start to understand the millennial generation and break free of all those negative stereotypes. We want you to get the knowledge you need to attract, retain, and engage the millennial generation, to take them from entitled to engaged. And who better to tell you about this than two actual millennials themselves. I'm Garrett Wagner, your entrepreneurial CPA channel host, and I'm here with my fellow millennial, future or current comedy star, depending on who you talk to, Drew Carrick, the rapping CPA. Now, are you ready to hear the truth about millennials from us? So, Drew, I've been thinking about this, and I know you're a busy man out there producing raps, on the scene, entertainment mogul. So I want to kind of talk specifically about that entertainment scene and talk about why content marketing matters so much now to the world and why it specifically matters and connects with us millennials.
So the whole concept behind creating content, especially for me, and I think it resonates with a lot of millennials, is that it's the most engaging form of content now. Nobody's sitting through. There's a reason Twitter is kind of declining, and you have things like Instagram, which are rising, and you're attracted to sort of the video content, and that's something that kind of engages and entertains you. I think what's really interesting is like when you have a really good commercial, and as a millennial, I'm watching that and I'm really intrigued. I wonder who made this and like how did they go about doing that. And the creation of content is so important because it helps you build your brand. It helps make things not as boring. It makes things more exciting and interesting. And we're just we want to do things that we're interested in, and we want things that are interesting to us.
Yeah, and it is like I think you're right. Things that are interesting to us in a unique, different way. And for us, when we look at millennials and millennial buying characteristics, I think we both feel this way. We're not necessarily just going to buy from the biggest brand. We want to feel connected. We want to learn about that company, that group, the organization. In the past, they kind of sold to us. Just like we'd see an ad someplace in a print magazine. We'd see it there. Now, like, we're going out and seeking out information we want, and we want something that's going to hook us or get us involved right there. I think a prime example, like, look at Yeti coolers. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeti coolers, they're all the rage. And what is it? It's a cooler? Right? Is it anything more than a really expensive cooler?
It really is like the importance of branding. And branding is one of the things that I love. And that's why I got my master's concentrated in marketing, was specifically for the purpose of branding. And I did specifically e-marketing courses. And I went into depth actually with all these like online marketing, whether it's a pyramid schemes that you call them in some instances, but these sort of like, these sort of multi-level marketing, triangles. And it's always interesting, but what is it that's really being done? It's you're selling on this sort of lifestyle, and that's what Yeti's selling on. You're selling on a lifestyle of, I got my Yeti cooler and I got my pickup truck and I go fishing and I go hunting and whatnot. And there's a demographic that they're able to attract and draw out of that. And that's really cool. And then you have, Apple's creating this whole, everything is sleek. I mean, that's why people love it, because even if it's not as good as anything else, it just looks so modern, so techy. And we're craving for that sort of like futuristic, Yeti's the rustic, Apple's the futuristic, the same way that we, model our own house.
Yeah. So that's how content marketing matters. That's why companies need to like really look about that. How do they put out content? And, a lot of times it doesn't have to be this like studio quality content, like this. Clearly we're not in a studio right now, but people like relatable content. They want to connect with us and the audience more so than just like it's two people in a studio. It's very sterile and we're very just like cut and dry. Like, so Drew, now the weather, like what's the weather like in your location? They want some personality and some interaction and those type of things. And that's, I think at a certain level, like everyone wants it. Everyone wants a more entertaining interactions.
And it applies all the way down too from, it's not just for the consumer market of millennials, but, in the same way that we always talk about as far as the millennial employees or or you want to build a brand around your company name where it's just, you hear the name and you have this sort of connotation or this image that comes through. And I think especially as you're trying to market a company for employees or for consumers, for Gen Z, for Gen X, millennials, you know, it's about having this sort of name that makes you feel like connected to the brand. You're part of a community. It's a movement. Mm-hmm. And that's really when you could take the marketing game to the next level. You develop content that is driven towards creating this image and this brand around your company. Yeah,
exactly. Create an image and a brand around that, but that means your company needs to know what that image needs to be.
Yeah.
It needs to make it something interesting. I see a lot of companies in the tech space that have their content marketing that's incredibly boring stuff. It's like their SSL security coding. Yeah, it's not going to draw me into a brand or use a product of like the security you have. I expect you to have, if you've got sensitive information, outstanding security. I'm not going to, you know, no one buys an iPhone because they've got good encryption on their phones. Like, yeah, they do, but no one cares. Like if their marketing message is like, you know, buy the latest iPhone, we have the best encryption software, it'd be a bust.
Yeah.
So Drew, how can companies get started developing great content marketing?
I mean, it comes from, I think, taking a sort of inventory of exactly what is the demographic that you are going for, what is that demographic interested in, and then getting people actually at your company who are that demographic to sort of build this content. And those creative type individuals, and like you were saying before, it doesn't take a lot. This iPhone shoots in 4K. So you can literally set up shop in one of the spare offices, have a plain background, maybe throw a picture and a poster on the wall, and you're ready to start filming and you're ready to go. And that's all it really takes to start.
Yeah, you can even throw up a couple Star Wars figurines, just a little something to make it personal, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. You want to connect with millennials, you want to understand our millennial mind, get into content marketing as a company. Don't turn your back on this. Start creating some content. Just dip your toe in the water, see what you can do. And if you're not sure to do it, give us a call, send us an email, send us a text message, whatever it is. We're happy to reach out and help you get started along this path. It's important. You got to understand the millennial mind because millennials are now one of the biggest spending groups in the country. So got to connect with us. Now, before we wrap up here, I want to let everybody know, if you've got your own thoughts on the millennial mind and what they do, take part in our millennial survey. It doesn't matter your age. We want to hear your input. There's a link below in the post. Take the test. We want to hear from you. That's all the time for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, we challenge you today to take action, to change the world, and invest in yourself.